Something shocking just happened and people are still trying to figure it out. At one of Hollywood's most exclusive events, things turned chaotic really quickly. We're talking about Justin Bieber and Usher getting into a tense confrontation right in the center of a party hosted by Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Yeah, that type of party. And to make the situation even crazier, 50 Cent has finally reacted to the whole situation, and what he said caught everyone off guard. It was Oscar weekend. The city was full of celebrities. Inside the party were stars like Hailey Bieber, Michael B. Jordan, Timothée Chalamet, Taylor Swift, along with many other A-list names. This usually isn't the kind of place where people start drama. It's the type of event where everyone smiles, acts calm, and keeps things elegant. But suddenly, the whole vibe changed.
One is blowing my mind. Justin Bieber and Usher reportedly got into a fight at an Oscars after party. Multiple people told TMZ that this fight turned into a physical fist fight. Then a source that's close to Justin Bieber told TMZ that nothing physical broke out, but Usher walked up to Justin Bieber at this Oscar after party and was very heated and angry. And then things just escalated where they were both yelling at each other. I wish I could have just been a fly on the wall, because sources are also telling TMZ that Justin Bieber just wants to erase everybody from his past. This part really isn't surprising, because in 2025, when Justin Bieber was dealing with all of those things and unfollowing Scooter Braun and all of this, he also unfollowed Usher. We all know Usher and Scooter Braun are the ones that signed a very young Justin Bieber. I'm not gonna lie, I can't help but think back when all of this was happening in early 2025, when a lot of us thought that Justin Bieber was very much struggling mentally, and we saw him removing himself from everybody in his past. The only thing that was ever really reported is that Justin Bieber might have had some money that came up missing over a period of time, and he finally realized it. The reason why I found those reports so interesting is the fact that at the same time he was deleting Usher, Scooter Braun, and everybody from his life when he was younger, he also fired his business manager, Lou Taylor of TriStar. Yeah, the Lou Taylor that was managing Britney Spears when she was put into her conservatorship. And yes, TriStar, her business, who was also named in the Diddy trial as allegedly paying some of the male workers. Honestly, this is some tea that I want to figure out what was the reason for this heated argument that almost allegedly turned into a...
After everything ended, reports say Justin Bieber didn't stay at the event for long. He quickly grabbed Hailey Bieber and walked out. No conversations, no explanations, no staying around with the crowd. There were clearly deeper problems happening behind the scenes. Later on, Justin's team finally responded. They confirmed there was no physical altercation, but they also didn't deny the argument. They didn't deny the tension either. And they definitely didn't deny that Usher approached the situation upset. But the real question is why? Over the last year, Justin has quietly started separating himself from certain people. He unfollowed Scooter Braun. He stepped away from his former inner circle. And yes, he unfollowed Usher too. That surprised many people because from Usher's perspective, he played a huge role in building Justin's career. He introduced him to the music business. He helped create opportunities. Without him, the version of Justin Bieber people know today might not even exist. But from Justin's side, the situation seems very different. Because now people are no longer focused only on what happened that night. They're revisiting the past, all the way back to when Justin Bieber was still a child. And one name that keeps resurfacing is L.A. Reid. In his memoir, he talks about the first time Usher brought a 14-year-old Justin into his office. He described Justin in a way that made many readers uncomfortable. Just calling him talented, but using wording that caused people to stop and wonder, why describe a kid like that?
That when Justin Bieber signed his first big record deal, that the record label executive, L.A. Reid, described him as a gift from Usher, but hold on, he said much worse. Quote, "This kid was beautiful, like a woman can be beautiful and men rarely are, and he turned it on as soon as he stepped into the room." L.A. Reid recalled how Usher brought Justin Bieber to him in October 2008, saying he had something he wanted to bring him. Around 4 p.m. that day, Usher arrived in the office with an adorable 14-year-old boy, a boy that L.A. Reid was so excited to corrupt.
14-year-old Justin Bieber walks into my office as a gift from Usher that, "Hey, I'm coming to your office at 3 o'clock. I have a very special gift for you." That day, we made a deal to sign Justin Bieber.
Keep in mind, L.A. Reid is the one who sent Usher to Diddy's Flava camp, the same camp that Usher said he would never send his children, but willingly sent Justin Bieber. L.A. Reid wrote in his memoir that Justin had a beautiful face, trendy hair, and natural charisma. L.A. Reid himself discovered Usher, and they would often exchange gifts, so I guess like pop stars to each other. Keep in mind that L.A. Reid has been accused of crimes similar to Diddy, SA, and her. He was quoted saying, "I could see immediately that Justin's hair would be every bit as important as his songs, his voice, his face, his presence." These people absolutely objectified Justin Bieber in the worst way possible, and I'm looking forward to their downfall.
Usher himself once revealed that his own teenage years in that same environment were chaotic, surrounded by situations he didn't completely understand at the time. He later admitted that because of what he experienced, he would never allow his own children to be placed in that kind of situation.
A lot of people believed that, Usher was groomed by Diddy.
He wasn't only groomed by Diddy, he was groomed by L.A. Reid, the rest of them too, man. Because they knew what happened. Then they came out and brought him back, and all of a sudden, he's getting all the great tracks. He's getting all the songs. They making him into this star, even though he may have been a...
They seem to be pretty good friends.
Well, they probably is.
I mean, they did a lot of work together, man, throughout their whole career. Puff was early in his career. Puff and Usher were working together when Usher was just a kid, all the way up. I mean, I think there's videos from not too long ago when they were together, and Puff is making jokes about how they used to wrestle for the Frosted Flakes in the morning, and
yeah, I bet they did. Somebody frosted somebody frosted somebody flakes. Without the milk.
What do you think it is that keeps Usher from coming out or saying anything?
Because, dog, you got to realize in that industry, a lot of people stand back and say, well, it happened to me. That's how some of them people pay their dues.
Fans are now starting to ask an important question. That's truly how Usher felt about those experiences, then why was Justin Bieber surrounded by those same circles? Because when people look at Justin today, they see someone completely different. Quiet, distant, and slowly cutting people out of his life without creating public drama. Many now believe Justin may have gone through a lot under the guidance of those two figures, especially Usher. Jaguar Wright, who has become known for speaking openly about the entertainment industry, later came forward with serious claims about what she believes was happening behind closed doors. Now, to be clear, these are allegations from her perspective, not proven facts. But the reason people are paying attention is because her statements seem to connect details that many were already questioning. She claimed that Usher may have played a much larger role than most people realized when it came to introducing a young Justin Bieber to Sean Combs. According to her, this was never just normal industry networking. She implied it was something far more complicated.
I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious it is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know. what Diddy's really like. What kind of do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak office, he a good guy.
Because when people look at the timeline, a lot of questions start coming up. Justin Bieber was still extremely young, still learning about the industry, still placing trust in the adults around him. And the people leading him were some of the biggest and most influential figures in music. Usher understood the dangers of that world better than almost anyone, and now many people believe he may have continued the same cycle instead of stopping it.
You look at Usher. What Usher say? I seen some things I shouldn't have been seeing at that age. What does that tell you? That he's seen some things. He was around some things when he was young that he shouldn't have been at a Diddy party. So that's going to show you that there's certain things that are happening that's going on that here it is, this kid was saying he shouldn't even seen it and been around it himself.
At that age, you don't usually question the people around you. You follow their lead, you trust them. And that's exactly why fans are now looking back and asking much tougher questions. Not only about what happened, but also about who allowed Justin Bieber to be placed in those situations from the beginning. It could also explain another thing people keep discussing: why Justin walked away from major opportunities connected to his past. Even moments that should have been huge milestones in his career, like performing on stage again with Usher. Most artists would instantly say yes to something like that, but Justin didn't. And many now believe he has been holding resentment toward Usher for a very long time.
You get career. Do you know Raymond Usher the Fourth?
No.
Do you know an individual, an entertainer by the name of Usher?
Yeah, Usher. That sounds familiar.
Isn't it true that Usher was instrumental in starting your career?
What does that have to do with this litigation, Mr. DeKalb? This is just you trying to help the client.
Before we came back here, you had asked me.
She's going to
Let her read back the question. Thank you for your memory.
I was found on YouTube. I think that I was detrimental to my own career.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all. I'm sitting right next to you.
I said I think I was instrumental to
let
my
me
own
hear back
career.
from the full reporter.
Instrument.
Said I think I was instrumental in my own career.
Thank you, sir. But my question was Usher, was he helpful to your professional career?
Yes.
Is Usher a close friend of yours?
Yes.
Is Usher a confidant?
I guess, yes.
Has Usher given you career advice?
Is this an interview or a deposition? I'm confused.
Please, sir.
And now, many people believe they finally understand the reason why. The most disturbing part of all this is that the conversation doesn't stop with Usher and L.A. Reid. Scooter Braun, Justin's former manager, has also faced criticism over the way things were handled around Justin Bieber. At one point, Scooter publicly admitted something that shocked a lot of people. He revealed there was a period where he honestly feared Justin would not survive the night, saying the situation had become so serious that he worried Justin might not wake up the following morning.
Was there ever a time that you looked at him and be like, yo, we lost this kid?
There was a time where I would go to sleep almost every night when he had the money to fly away from me. And I was worried every night that I was going to lose him. And that was the time where I was telling him he's not allowed to work. And he used to yell and scream at me, and like he wanted to put music out, he wanted to tour, but I thought if he did that, he would die.
Right.
So I just refused. Like we weren't making any money. It wasn't like I was trying to take advantage. Like I didn't want him to work because I wanted him to get healthy.
So when you say lose him, you thought...
I thought he was going to die. I thought he was going to go to sleep one night and have so much in his system that he would not wake up the next morning. And I was trying to monitor him from a distance. I would fly after him at times, like all kinds of different stuff. And there's a lot of times where people give me credit for him changing, or people on my team. And I don't think any of us deserve the credit. I think that he made a conscious choice for himself to change.
That alone shows just how serious things had become behind closed doors. But not long after that, Scooter Braun made another statement that caused even more people to react. He admitted that he had used manipulation as a way to manage Justin Bieber.
Tell me I'm old. As a young man, if I don't allow him to make mistakes, he'll never learn. So I think my job is less about stopping him now and more about when he does fall, I got to be there to help him get back up. When it comes to what's happened to him the last 9 months, it took its toll because I had to remind myself what was real and what wasn't. Because I think at one point the media started spinning so much that you can't address everything. And I had to kind of remind myself of what is reality and what is being blown up out of proportion.
I get a lot of heat because I stand up for Justin. I'm Team Bieber. I've said it a million times on the show. But his fans want to honestly know from someone who knows him very well, is Justin in a good place right now?
He's figuring out who he wants to be. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that every 19-year-old is in that place where they're trying to figure out in life where they're going, where they want to be, what they want to represent. And that's a struggle. The answer is yes, as far as he's a good natural place. Is he in a good place as far as, is he, happy all the time and is everything easy? No, absolutely not. But, with that adversity is going to come, it's going to blossom into manhood.
How much of the negative press is deserved, Scooter?
Look, I think 90% of it is not deserved, but it's our culture. I think that there are times where being a teenager, he will be frustrated with the lies about himself, and then he will actually act out and give them more ammo. Great Wall of China is a perfect example. He spent 2.5 hours walking on the Great Wall of China, visiting stuff, shooting stuff, hanging out with friends, taking in the site.
Now, Scooter Braun tried to present it as if he was doing it for Justin's benefit, like he was protecting him. But when you really think about it, that statement sounds troubling. Justin Bieber wasn't the only person connected to these kinds of concerns. Around that same period, Taylor Swift also spoke publicly about her own issues involving Scooter. After he purchased the label connected to her earlier music, she said she felt controlled, as if major decisions about her own work were happening without her involvement. She even described the situation as a form of ongoing manipulation and explained that she never wanted to be connected to him in the first place.
He would sell my music. I knew he would do that. I couldn't believe who he sold it to, because we've had endless conversations about Scooter Braun. And he has 300 million reasons to conveniently forget those conversations.
Now, could you re-record?
Oh, yeah.
Might you do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's a plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Far from a minor accusation, and the way Scooter Braun responded only made the entire situation appear even more questionable to many people.
Machine, I thought I was going to work with all the artists on Big Machine. I thought it was going to be like an exciting thing. I knew that Taylor, she and I had only met 3 times, I think in my life, 3 or 4 times. And one of the times, it was years earlier, it was really a great engagement. She invited me to her private party and we respected each other. We had a great engagement. In between that time, since I'd seen her last, I started managing Kanye West. I managed Justin Bieber. I knew she didn't get along with them. I had a feeling, this is where my arrogance came in. I had a feeling she probably didn't like me because I managed them, but I thought that once this announcement happened, she would talk to me, see who I am, and we would work together. And the announcement came out and I'm calling Scott Borchetta and saying, hey, send me her number. I just talked to Thomas Rhett and he's excited. And I just talked to, this person and they're excited. And I'm calling, Florida Georgia line next. And, I'm gonna get you. And then this Tumblr comes out and it says all this stuff. And I was just like shocked.
And she wasn't the only person speaking out. Bear, who previously worked closely with Scooter Braun, also shared his experience. He claimed that during his time under that management, he felt overlooked, pressured, and taken advantage of. Some people still defended Scooter, but by that point, many fans were beginning to notice a pattern. Even with artists like Ariana Grande, there were moments when people questioned how much pressure she was dealing with, especially during some of the most difficult periods of her life.
Ariana has a hell of a voice. And she is the sweetest, nicest person. And it's a pleasure to work with her because everything that happens to her is so exciting.
Well, apparently it hasn't always been a pleasure working with Ariana Grande. Scooter Braun is opening up about the time she fired him.
At the end of the day, I just sort of have to focus, know my truth, work hard, be nice to everyone you meet, and just not fight back. I try to create and maintain, but sometimes it's very hard.
Speaking at Fast Company's Innovation Festival this week, Scooter revealed the Break Free singer let him go in 2016, hinting it was all due to her boyfriend at the time. Quote, "I could have said a lot of stuff, and in fact, my team wanted me to. They were like, never take her back. But I just said, let's stay quiet and let our truth be our actions." Adding, when boyfriends leave, she starts to see the light on some stuff. Scooter took Ariana back on as a client, and he says the whole thing actually made him a better manager. Quote, "I had never been fired before. It made me know that as much as you give to people in a service business, you can never expect anyone to reciprocate. You have to do it for the right reasons. And if you get screwed over in the end, so be it."
I just needed to do, what was right and work hard, and my work will speak for itself.
Now, it's unclear who the, quote, boyfriend was, as the timing falls somewhere between Ariana's relationships with Big Sean and Mac Miller, who died unexpectedly at the age of 26 this September.
Scooter Braun later admitted that he encouraged Ariana Grande to return to performing after a tragic event, explaining that he believed it was the best decision at the time. Maybe his intentions were good, but it still revealed just how intense and demanding that environment could become. On their own, each of these stories may not seem that significant, but when you put them together, they begin to form a larger picture. A system where young artists are pushed constantly, managed very tightly, and sometimes abandoned when things start falling apart. So when people look back at Justin Bieber now, his behavior suddenly starts making a lot more sense.
I watched a video of an interview of Justin Bieber, and he was talking about Billie Eilish. And he was like, he was almost in tears. He's like, I just want to protect her. I just want to keep her safe.
Yeah.
What do you think he went through?
Because he knows what's been happening to Billy. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby Brown girl with Drake. These people are monsters.
Could all of this possibly be connected to the experiences Justin Bieber has been forced to revisit over the last 2 years? For many people, that idea no longer seems impossible. It likely wasn't easy for him to ignore the things he went through during his early teenage years, especially as the allegations and controversies surrounding Sean Combs also started receiving major public attention during the same period. And on top of that, many believe the fear of damaging information potentially becoming public could have placed an even heavier emotional burden on him.
Bieber is talking as much as he can, but I'm sure it's difficult for him to do, considering the fact that he's on those tapes. And I can tell you right now, every young man that was taken advantage of by Diddy was not only and hallucinated and put under some form of weird hypnosis, they've all committed crimes, whether they were in their right mind or not. In order to be that close to that kind of devil, you have to have some kind of dirt on you. That's the only way he'll trust having you around. I have no doubt in my mind Justin Bieber was put in a compromising situation somewhere along the way. There is footage of it that will make him look like a monster, just like Usher. He was there to see all of that harm and know that nobody was going to come to help.
And while all of this continues unfolding, another development has quietly added even more tension to the situation. Because now the timeline surrounding Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, appears to be changing. Reports claim that his expected prison release date has been moved forward. Instead of being released in June, he is now reportedly expected to leave prison in April 2028. On paper, it may seem like a minor adjustment, but in a story like this, timing matters a lot. Many people believe this creates concern because anyone who has spoken out, or could potentially speak out against Diddy, may fear possible retaliation once he is released.
Baby mama stories. They're going to try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But, they trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Because I think he ready for it. You don't do this, and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way.
What do you think will happen to Justin once Diddy is released from prison? Let us know in the comments below.